Virtual College is an established online training provider. It is a passionate believer in apprenticeships and employs several at its offices in Ilkley. Throughout this series we will follow them, providing an insight into what it is like to be an apprentice and how they relate to their employers, managers, mentors and assessors. So join us as we see Apprentices in action. First, let's meet Ben, who is preparing to graduate from his Level 2 Business Administration apprenticeship. Ben has been tutored in preparing and delivering a meeting, and we can now see how his first session went.
It went well, better than I thought it would have gone. I've never really done anything quite like that before. I've been the only one to stand up in front of a big group. Yeah, I'd done quite a bit of preparation before with one of the assessors, which went quite well, so I wasn't as nervous as I would have been going in there without any help, but I was still rather nervous at the start. But as the meeting went on, the nerves sort of went away a bit. I became more comfortable, so I realised it wasn't really quite as scary as I first thought it'd be. Well, yeah, I think it was successful. I'm pretty sure it was, because we achieved the main outcomes of the meeting in the way that we put a better system in place for the area that we were working on. I think working and learning, they're two different things, but they both go together in the apprenticeship quite well. So I feel a lot more confident now going into the business after graduating. I feel great about graduating actually. It's nice to finally have something to have worked for so long.
As the head of 2 Virtual Colleges e-academies, Chloe is Ben's manager and responsible for overseeing his apprenticeship journey.
Ben was very confident in handling the meeting. He hadn't done it before, so at times his nerves showed. However, overall he's quite a confident person who's good at chatting with people and engaging with them, and that came across in his presentation. I felt that he got a lot of feedback from his team members, and he also controlled the conflicting personalities well. With some people we sit down every morning and go through the task list. With some people we just have the one-to-ones each week to make sure they're on track. As with all members of the team, they have their own objectives and tasks that they have to work to and gather evidence for on a monthly basis. When managing apprentices, you have to take into account they often don't have very much experience of the workplace. This would be the same if you were taking on any school leaver. With an apprenticeship, you have to also remember that you're trying to teach them things outside of the workplace as well, so they gain their qualification. So you have to make sure you give them time to adjust to that environment, and that they manage their own time to ensure that they gain their qualification as well as achieving all their workplace goals.
Scott is now an established part of the team, but started his career as an apprentice with Virtual College. Injury prevented him from joining the Navy when he left school, but his apprenticeship is now helping him work towards that goal.
Really glad that I went down the apprenticeship route, yeah, definitely. 2 years ago I was told I would never be able to join the Navy with my arm, so plan A was gone. Plan B, the A-levels, it hadn't really worked, so it was down to plan C, and I didn't really have a plan C, so I went and sat down with a careers advisor, and they told me, they showed me the possibilities of an apprenticeship, and I really liked it, so I thought I'll go for that. I realised I had a lot to learn, and a lot of growing up to do. Suddenly, the responsibilities that I hadn't considered before, I now had to consider, my effect on the team, and my role as a small cog in a bigger machine, that you just don't kind of get that feeling when you're at school. Well, one of the on-the-job training that I received at first was even the very basic stuff, help answering the phones. I had no confidence there, and then it moved on to more advanced stuff. The learning management system that we have, I got trained on that. I got trained in Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, things that I'd never really used before up until that point. For the future, I've already applied and been provisionally accepted into the Navy. My apprenticeship, at first I was sceptical. I didn't think it would actually relate to it. I thought, oh no, it's a business admin. But when I reflected on it and I saw some of my early work and what I do now and the way I am now, I think the most important thing the apprenticeship made me do, not made me, but helped me realise, is that I needed to become more mature. And that's come across in my interviews with the Navy, my preparation for it, the way that I tackle the interview, everything that I do now that I didn't do when I applied for a job here. You know, my portfolio was a mess, and I didn't have quite the same confidence. I didn't feel like an adult. I felt like a student, a school kid, and I don't feel like that anymore. And I think that's part of the result of my success with the apprenticeship.
We met Adam briefly in episode 1. Adam joined virtual college after first looking at going to college to pursue his interest in music.
Well, after school, as a budding musician, I decided to go to Leeds College of Music. And after a few months, it was really great. It's a lovely place, an absolutely beautiful place to learn. But the actual content of the course I found was too sort of scientific. Although I did enjoy it, I decided I didn't enjoy it enough to stay there. So what I decided to do was drop out and keep music as a hobby. I feel like apprenticeships was sort of going to be a little bit more like school than it actually is, which I'm really pleased it's not.
Join us next time when we will follow our apprentices as they progress through their daily work and learning journey in Apprentices in Action.
If you think this episode could be of interest to any potential apprentices, parents or possible employers, please ask them to send us their contact email addresses. We can then send them this and future episodes.